Hello, everyone. I'm going to go over the importance of having a plan when you get a new funded account, why it is so important to have a plan, how to make a plan, the plan I have moving forward as well. Check it out. We got the Christmas lights, we got little sleigh, we got a reindeer, and we got a Santa Claus, and they go in the sleigh because it's Christmas, because it's November 3rd now. So, why do you need a plan? Why do you need a plan when you get a new account? Why can't you just get an account and start trading? When you have structure, you kill your emotion. Structure kills you from doing dumb things. That's essentially saying, why do we have a government? Why don't we just go live in anarchy? Anarchy typically causes bad things because people just like kill each other and die and rob and steal. You need structure. Structure is important. When you get an account and you don't have a plan, you're running like an anarchy. You're crazy. You're doing whatever the heck you want. You need to have a written plan. And plans can also reveal what is working and what is not. What you can't measure, you cannot master. You need to have clearly defined criteria so you can reflect and say, okay, this criteria helped me improve this, or this criteria actually harmed me in this way, so let me get rid of it. It defines you as a trader. When you enter the markets without an identity of having a criteria, you're just running amok. You need to have it very clearly written out. So let's just jump right into what a good plan looks like. Clear risk definition. You need to clearly identify, written out, how much are you going to be risking per trade and how many trades are you willing to take every day. This is like the most basic, the most important, I think. And having a plan, you need to say, I'm going to risk this much per trade, this much capital per trade. A good rule of thumb when you are working on a funded account is to risk 10% of your drawdown. I don't do that in the evaluation stage. That's debatable whether or not you should, but especially if you've never been funded before, 10% of your drawdown per trade. And I have a rule where I do 2 losses per day right now. That's the rule I'm working with. That's the criteria I'm trying out. I used to do 1 trade per day. I didn't like it. I was measuring that and I thought it was bad. And then I said I'm going to do however many trades a day I want. I didn't like that either. I found that after 2 trades, if I lose twice, I tend to be more prone to tilt. So if I lose twice in a day, I'm done. And I go into the next day. Setup criteria. This one's pretty straightforward. You need to have a strategy, obviously, and you need to have your criteria for the strategy. I don't really have these written out. I have taken tons and tons of notes, and I know exactly what my setup looks like. And if you're new to a strategy and you don't know what it looks like yet, clearly define. This is what it should look like. In my checklist, I don't look at this anymore just because I know what it should be, but this is the setup. This is the idea. You mark out one of these targets. You have to have these criteria met. And then you enter on the closure, you put the stop at the wick and the TP at the target. And that is the criteria for the trade. It's very clear. It's written out. I know exactly what it needs to be. There's no room for mistake here. Like, this is, you just have to follow it in this manner. It's clear. Session rules. When are you going to trade? I used to only take trades after New York Open. I have a post-it note on my wall. It's the first post-it note I ever put up here. Wait for 9:30 sweep. It's probably backwards. Wait for 9:30 sweep. That's probably been there for a year and a half, maybe. Because forever ago, New York Open was killing me. So I said, all right, I'm going to wait for the 9:30 sweep, and I'm only going to trade it after that time. I'm only going to trade it after 9:45. Then it got to, I'm only going to trade it after 10. Right now, I'm experimenting a little bit, and I'm actually trading every session. Asia, some of London. I live in EST time zone, so I'm not fully trading the London session. I'm not going to trade at 3 a.m. I do have a, excuse my language, job. Sorry. I also trade New York, so those sessions I do trade. But it is very important. For a while, I had that defined. 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. That is my trading window. Clearly defined. End of the day protocol, journal. That's part of a good plan, is having an end of the day protocol. If you are not learning from your losses, you're wasting time. The quicker you can learn from your losses, the less losses you have to make before you stop losing. Or at least lose less. It's important to have this. This is an example of one of the plans I had for a while. Oh, it's taped. I just broke it. I wrote this out and I put it on my wall. And here's the plan I had for a while. Write it out. Seriously, write it out. Item 1 was on the evaluation stage of a 50K account, risking $600 per trade. That is a lot. That is a lot on an eval, but it's an eval, and I've passed funded accounts before, so I was in more of a rush to get to that stage. This is an old plan. I'll go over the plan I'm working with now. On the funded stage, $200 of risk. With $2,000 of drawdown, I risk 10% in the funded stage. I think that's a good rule of thumb, especially since I've already been funded before and I've gotten payouts. Only trading 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. This was older. I really don't like to trade before. So, trading after New York, I found more success. 0 open positions between 9:25 and 9:35. New York open tends to just kill me. It just does. I struggle having positions open during them. There's lots of volatility then, and it tends to just kill me, so I stopped having open positions during then. And a maximum of 2 trades per day. That's the cap. 1 win equals done. Simple. If I win, I'm done. That was an old plan of mine. I don't follow that anymore. What I'm doing now is I have 2 accounts that I just got. This one you see here and a 50K account. Here are the rules that I'm doing. Man, my face just got so red in this camera. Whatever. For the 50K account, I am risking $500 per trade in the evaluation stage, and I will risk $500 a trade in the funded stage. Why? In the evaluation stage, I'm just trying to pass it quicker. I don't really feel like wasting my time there, and I'm accepting the fact that it is likely, and it already has happened, that I am going to have to buy challenges several times in order to get funded. It's just a likely outcome. Risking so much, having only 4 trades of drawdown, it is almost guaranteed that I will fail in the process of getting funded. But with accounts costing $50, I'm willing to take that risk. And then I'm risking more in the funded stage as well. That's debatable whether that's a good idea or not. $200, $400 of a payout really won't change my life and really doesn't mean anything to me. That's why I got the 150K account. So I'm still risking $500 in that funded stage on the 50K. Not the best idea. That's why I got the 150K account as well. Now, on the 150K account, see, I wrote it out again. It's important to write these things out. I thought that was going to fix the color. It's like gotten worse over time. No way. Perfect. So, the 150K account, what I'm doing is I'm risking $1,100 per trade. So, a quarter of the drawdown. It's getting worse again. A quarter of the drawdown in the evaluation stage, and then once I get funded, I will switch to $500 per trade in the funded account, meaning I have 9 trades before I reach max drawdown. This is what the account on the 150K is looking like so far. This trade was weird. I don't want to get into it, but this trade was weird. We're halfway to profit target. That's great. Here are my rules that I'm following, shortly written out. I've got this for my different accounts, and then on here I have my risk to reward outlined, my risk outlined for the 50K again, the assets I'm trading, and then timelines. I'm trading all of them, and we just go from there. It is so important to have a plan, a structure. We don't live in anarchy. Don't treat your funded accounts the same way. Unless you just want to gamble, in which case just play some online casino because it's probably more fun and your odds are probably better than gambling and trading. Always journal your trades. If you can't measure it, you can't master it. That's all. Good progress on the funded account. Happy with this, and we'll see where it gets. I hate how red I am. Subscribe if you want to see how this account plays out. Thank you for watching.